Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to A Gathering Place brought to you by the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce. And I'm your host, Marilyn Hemingway, and I am so excited today. We have a dynamic show because, y'all, if the show is anything like the company I had last night at dinner, and one of the people at dinner is joining us for the show. We had such a good time last night learning about each other, learning more about the community and all of our plans. But this is someone I've always wanted to meet for years. I've had a chance to meet her, and I invited her on the show today. So also, this is my first remote show for A Gathering Place. I am not in my usual spot, y'all, as you could probably tell by the background. I am in Beaufort, South Carolina, and I'm hanging out with Aunt Pearlie Sue. And guess what? We're going to see her right after this opening.
Hello, I'm Marilyn Hemingway, and welcome to A Gathering Place. I said, I'm stepping back because we have young voices who want to be heard, and they're moving on something.
Branding is really important to you and your business.
Even a basic type of technology, you'll learn it all.
And people are
Good question.
So we are back, y'all, here with Aunt Pearlie Sue, Gullah storyteller, just Gullah griot, all the things you could think that's wonderful about our community. And I'm here in Beaufort with her and other folks. So let's not wait any further and bring on Aunt Pearlie Sue, and let's just see where the spirit moves us, folks, and what happens today. Aunt Pearlie Sue!
Hey, girl.
How are you?
Girl, I'm good. A little smoky, but good.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm here with her family, hanging out and just having a good time. You know, that's what we do. That's what we do as family. And I want to say this quickly. Pearlie Sue's a storyteller. She's a singer. She's just one of many, but someone for over 20 years that has been preserving and celebrating the culture. And just a couple of things she gifted me with. Circle Unbroken, a Gullah journey from Africa to America with the Gullah kinfolk, featuring Anita Singleton Prather, also known as Aunt Pearlie Sue, y'all. She got a website, so y'all need to go ahead and check out her stuff on the website and, you know, support and everything, and more than support. Y'all know what I mean. And then we got Tales from the Land of Gullah for Kids, and I cannot wait so I can get in position and check both of these out. But you know, what's even better to be here live with her, to just talk to her, hear her stories, and why are we sitting here today? What's your journey? So I'm Pearlie Sue. Without further ado, I'm here and I just want to soak it up. And let me tell you, beautiful. Y'all, she's beautiful, right? There she is. I love it. She just did her magic and she's ready to go. Tell me, this is home. This is Beaufort.
This is home. Where, in fact, where we're sitting is where I grew up. This is the house I grew up in. Then between third and fourth grade, my mother bought property on Ladies Island, and we built a house over there and moved over there. And then when I got married, she gave me this home, and I moved back to this home. Wow. So here I am, some 40-something plus years now on this corner. Loving it, loving the community. In fact, this area where I am was the Freedmen's Village, right after big gun done shoot on November 7th, 1861, when Union forces came and took over Beaufort County. And all the Confederate soldiers left and all the white folks left on that day and left us here. They said it was one white person left on November 7th, 1861, and he was drunk as a skunk, Mr. Morgan, and they left him right down there at the waterfront park. As they stepped over him and they got on steamships and horse and buggy, and they skedaddled on up out of here.
Wow.
Well, on that day, we call it the day when big gun done shoot. That's the colored folks. But the white folks call it the day of the great skedaddle because all of them skedaddled out. And we were free. We were the first set of blacks to be free. So you're visiting the Freedmen's Village. This became one of the Freedmen's Village. And this is
Wow.
where I grew up in this area. So this is where I am. I'm back to the same place.
This really is home, and I didn't know that. That
Uh-huh.
is just another piece of information history that we
Mhm.
need to know and
Yeah.
share. And
Yeah.
so this
Yeah.
was an independent, free town, village.
Right.
So
Right.
so what did that mean for
You
us?
know what? If people, anybody who saw the movie Black Panther, and you hear them talk, hey, big, all my nephews, and they came from New York, so they just come up to the house. So y'all, I just got to say, hey, family, love, 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 love.
That's what
I
we
feel like
do.
but anyway, if you saw the movie Black Panther, and you hear about Wakanda, you know Wakanda is a fictitious utopia uh, in Africa, represented in Africa. You know, now with all the African royalty and majesty. But Beaufort really became the real Wakanda during that time in our history. Like I said, we were the first set of blacks to be freed. 70 plus Union ships arrived on November 7th, 1861, right there in the southern part of Beaufort County, between Bluffton Islands and Hilton Head Island. There's a body of water that's called Port Royal Sound. Well, Port Royal Sound is the second natural deepest harbor in the United States, only second to New York City. And so it was a very strategic body of water, and it was the only way that the Union could get to the heart of the Confederacy by way of ship, because they didn't have, they didn't have American Airlines and all that back in 1861. And so the only way they could get their troops here was by ships. And so when those 70 plus ships arrived that morning, they started doing an elliptical pattern. And there were two Confederate forts that had been set up to protect that body of water. One was on the Hilton Head side, that was Fort Walk. Another one on the other side was called Fort Beauregard. And so they, for 4.5 hours, those Union ships did that elliptical pattern, and they would boom, reload, boom, reload, boom, boom, reload. And after 4.5 hours, Cletus said to Bubba, Lord have mercy, they about to kill us up in here. Bubba, what is us going to do? Bubba said, I don't know what you was going to do, Cletus, but I know what I was going to do. I was going to skedaddle my little Confederate self right on up out of here. And they said every Confederate soldier evacuated. And when the plantation owners realized that their protection, military protection, was gone, because they were sitting at Land's End watching across the water, and they could see all the bombardment going on, and they just knew it was going to be a quick victory for the Confederacy. But weren't they surprised when they realized that all of their Confederate rebel soldiers had evacuated? So guess what? All the white folks got in their horse and buggies. They got in their steamship. They said a steamship was waiting down at the waterfront park, and they loaded up and they skedaddled out of here. They went to Charleston. They went to Savannah. You know, they went place where they were still safe, or so they thought. And so we were free. So two days after that, on November 9th, those 70 plus ships arrived in downtown Beaufort at our waterfront. And by that time, I'm telling you, when the masters left, they left their food on the table, they left their jewelry, they left the cotton in the field, and they left weeds. Yes, Lord. And so by the time they got here, like I said, the Union naval folks got here. We were standing on the shoreline saying, come on, boys, I got some fried chicken for you, little collard greens, little cornbread, come on, boo. Sweet tater pie, Pearlie got it for you. Come on, sit on down, the freedom done come for we. And we were free right at the beginning of the Civil War. And it's ironic that it would be here that we would be the first set to be freed in such masses, when it was right here that the first articles of succession was first drafted right here in downtown Beaufort. God got a sense of humor now. He got a sense of humor.
He does have a sense of humor. And I'm throwing up a quick picture here to give some ideas of Port Royal Sound. It's actually a very good picture. And you can see where the darkness of the water, how deep the water is.
Yeah.
And this was before Reconstruction. So this is probably laying the groundwork.
That is known November 7th, 1861. We call it, like I said, the day when Big Gun done shoot. White folks call it the day of the great skedaddle. Historians at the time called it the Battle of Port Royal, and now we know it today as the beginning of Reconstruction, the Reconstruction period. which would have been that Wakanda period for blacks here in Beaufort County. Not all over South Carolina, but Beaufort County.
Beaufort County. And folks, there's a good picture here that gives you an excellent idea of what she's talking about and just the surrounding area. And of course, now we know that very much has changed. But let's talk a little bit further of the history, how you've become Aunt Pearlie Sue, and what's going on now in Beaufort County. And because even in 1861, that had national implications.
Mm-hmm.
Because that reconstruction informed other areas. And this is also the area, I hope people realize, and they probably don't, this is where 40 acres in the mule came about, where people just so easily say, I want my 40 acres in the mule, but you got to understand the history of it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened after 1861, 1865 and forward that impacts what's going on now?
Yeah. Well, one of the things, let me just backtrack a little bit because I want them to understand when I talk about Wakanda and the implications in reference to Beaufort County. During that period of time from 1861 to 1865, when the war ended, the war was almost exactly 4 years. It was only 3 days shy of being 4 years because it started April the 12th, 1861, and it ended April 9th, 1865. But within those 4 years, you had Robert Smalls, who rose to prominence and became a hero. He would have been your T'Challa if you're watching the Black Panther movie. You had Harriet Tubman, who came to Beaufort, lived here for 3 years. She would be, parallel to the women, the women warriors, the general. And Black Panther. She actually came here, and on June 2nd, 1863, she helped to free between 750 to maybe 900 Africans out right across the Combahee River from Beaufort County. So much of our African American history started here. African people from all over the diaspora that's in America, if you're looking for your roots and how it started, what makes us, why is this country ours? All you got to do is come back to South Carolina.
That's right.
Come back to South Carolina. Even the history, even America as we know it today, did not start in Virginia, because 40 years prior to Virginia, you had St. Helena, which was a Spanish fort. It was started on Paris Island, where Paris Island Marine Corps recruit people.
That's right.
So much of our history, even American history, African American history, whatever you want to call it, starts here.
It does.
And we're directly connected to Africa, and there's no way of getting around it. I don't care how they whitewash it. I don't care how they try to retell the story. History will always be revealed.
It certainly will. And just to add on to St. Helena, the connection to Georgetown, my hometown, and just let y'all know, when we were talking last night, my mother's family is from Beaufort. But my grandfather, they migrated to Georgetown. But in 1526, the Spanish came into Georgetown, so enslaved Africans escaped. Then they sailed down to St. Helena from Georgetown, and then that's really where they stayed, in St. Helena. So we are all connected. Not only as Aunt Pearlie Sue said, locally you cannot disconnect it, and we simply migrated further out. So we are all connected. Y'all need to come on back home to South Carolina. and see your roots. And let's be honest, a lot of us are never going to make it to Africa.
Get some in the bag.
Yeah, some of us are never going to make it to Africa, but we certainly can make it to South Carolina.
That's right. Come on. I'm telling you, because this is as close as you're going to get to your Africanism is here in Gullah country.
That's right.
And come with an open mind to find your people. And even though, people go to New York and they go to Philadelphia and they go to DC and they go everywhere else, and they say, well, I ain't Gullah. Yes, you are. Because if you got French blood running in you, if you never speak a French word, you're still French. And the same thing with Gullah. When we were here on these plantations, whether or not we escaped, whether or not freedom came, Emancipation Proclamation came, and our emancipation came, whether or not we were given our December the 3rd, Brother Joe, whether or not we were given our freedom as in a will, it doesn't matter. Everywhere we went, we took our culture. I don't care when we went up to New York and tried to get rid of our accent. Guess what? We took parts of Gullah everywhere. So when folks come and say, well, where the Gullah people, all I'm gonna say to you, you look in the mirror and you'll see a Gullah person. Because whether they ended up in New York talking so proper, like Anita China, hello, let them get the fussing. Let them get the fussing for a minute. That Gullah coming.
Ebonics, they talk about Ebonics, that's northern term, but that's Gullah.
Gullah. All day long.
People tell, and I saw somebody post something the other day on Facebook, and they said if you date somebody who say scrimp instead of shrimp, you might not want to deal with them. And that spoke to me that they didn't know what they were talking about.
They don't have a clue.
Because that's Gullah. They were taught, miseducated about Ebonics. Yeah, that was a language that people were saying, oh, that's bad English. The same thing they did to Native Americans by sending them to schools.
Right.
Is what they did to us by saying, oh, that's not proper English. And you know something? Gullah is actually embedded in Old English. So in some ways, it's actually more proper. Because that's taken from Old English and Spanish too.
Right.
People gotta realize that. And all these tribal dialects from Africa, the tribal languages. So
And you know what? And another thing too is that, see, I bless the Lord for my parents, and especially my grandmother, Rosa. Now, Rosa was the real, Tyler Perry plays a Medea. My grandmother, Rosa, was the real Medea. That thing didn't play. You hear what I'm saying? Was about 5 feet, maybe 1 inch or something like that. Busted, big busted and that kind of stuff, but always was neat as a pin. Was an excellent seamstress, excellent cook. And she ran the house that she worked in for 33 years. The Christian home, big antebellum house. Never heard her call her employers Miss Nobody. It was Helen and Winnie, get out my kitchen. So when I saw the movie The Help, I couldn't identify with that because that wasn't Rosa Singleton. And when I tell you, could cook a mean pot, raised all her vegetables in the back of her house yard, could shoot a shotgun in the dark and knock off shoot off a possum's tail. But and very independent, strong-willed, determined woman. And so that's what we're made out of. And so when we get ashamed of who we are, then the enemy has won. But I thank God because my grandmother always made me know that I was important. Even as a chubby child, I could outrun most skinny folks. I surely could outdance most of them. Very flexible. Played basketball, played volleyball, played football, played baseball, whatever. And so that's the kind of what she gave to me. And my parents, just reinforced that. My mother made us feel like we could accomplish anything. My mother was a school teacher. My dad graduated. He was the second generation graduate from Tuskegee Institute. His father, my grandfather, who was Edward Singleton, was born in 1875, only 10 years out of enslavement. And he was born on Cherokee Plantation in Colleton County. So one of the things we have to make sure that we let people know, we are so proud of the Gullah Geechee connection to St. Helena Island, but our Gullah Geechee history extends so far out.
It does.
Don't allow other people's narrative to box us in, because we went everywhere, and everywhere we went, we made an imprint.
That's right.
Everywhere we went, we made an imprint.
That's right. We are an evolving culture.
That's right.
The roots. It's the definition of evolution when you could take other languages and make a new language.
That's
You can
right.
take your foods from one place and create a whole new foods. I
Right.
mean, they're the foundation of American history, American cuisine. And these are people under the worst of circumstances, their resilience, their strength.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
we have to reconnect to and understand. You come from strength.
That's right. And this is my message, especially to young people and to Black people. This is what I want to say to you. We know the horrors of slavery. I mean, it's been documented. It's been put into movies. It's been put into books. We know the horrors of slavery. But guess what? They couldn't break us. We're still here. So let's not. We're gonna remember what happened. But let's understand the strength that it validated that's in us as a people. Took their best shot. Continue to do so. And ain't nothing new. So if we overcame one time before, what make you think we gonna lay down and just let it happen? No.
That's
We
right.
got too much strength. We got too much stuff. We got too much talent. We got too much, spirituality. We just got too much stuff to sit there and keep saying what somebody else is. Day. I always ask my grandkids, who's they? Because see, you make day important, and they ain't important to me.
That's right. If you can't name them, who's they?
They don't mean nothing to me. And so even and I find that we are struggling with our identity. I don't have no problems with who I am. I'm so proud to be Gullah. Even when I went up to Howard University and I was in school up there, and I remember the first thing they asked me, "You from the island?" Oh, I would get so excited. I said, "Oh yeah," because I'm thinking they know something about Ladies Island, Helena Island, Hilton Head Island. I said, "Yeah." They said, "What island?" They said, "Are you from St. Croix, St. Thomas?" I said, "I ain't from no." That's when I was cussing back then too. I ain't from no doggone St. Croix, St. Thomas. I'm from Beaufort, South Carolina, blah, 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 blah. And boy, then that would be another thing. Because once they heard I was from Beaufort, they said, "Lord, girl, you know about Roots?" "Yeah, I like that movie. Didn't you like that movie?" I thought Alex Haley did a wonderful job. I ain't know nothing but no Roots. I couldn't convince them folks I ain't know nothing but no witchcraft. But you know what? I could have been a rich woman. All I do is give them the same number, 777. You know how rich I could have been if I'd have had any sense at all. Because they really thought. And again, even when we don't think that what we have is valuable, other people know that it is. And so we have other folks that don't look like us coming from all over the world wanting to find out about Gullah Geechee. I had done a and I guess it's over 7 because my oldest grandson is 17, so it was before he was born. And I did a children's website with South Carolina ETV. They approached me about doing the website. They heard about my storytelling. They came in, found me, Amy Shoemaker. I just love my Amy, and we created a children's website called what they call it? Oh, knowitall.org. Gullah Net. And it has stories, music, my animated character, Aunt Pearlie Sue, that kind of stuff. So I was so excited. I said, "Oh, that's so wonderful, wonderful, wonderful." Well, about 2 or 3 years later, they came to me and said, "Guess what?" I said, "What?" They said, "The Chinese, they want to interpret, they want to translate it into Chinese." I said, "Well, I don't know what Chinese Gullah sound like." So
No.
can you imagine that Chinese people were interested in Gullah Geechee history?
Yeah.
I don't know what it sounds like. I don't know what regular Chinese, so Gullah Chinese is really, but just to let you know how people around the world want to know about us. And we're still walking around with a veil of shame that somehow that's some kind of, well, Aunt Pearlie Sue, you the Gullah storyteller. Aunt Pearlie Sue, well, you the one that's Gullah. All of us are. All of us are. Even the ones that don't look like us. Because Gullah is the blending of all of those cultures that came together during that transatlantic slave trade. And it's the blending of all those African countries with that of and we became the workers, kidnapped workers on these plantations, blended with that of the many Europeans that became the masters and that of the Native Americans that were the original landowners.
That's
So it's a
right.
blending of all of those cultures that came together during that horrible time in our history that gives us Gullah today. And so when you talk about Gullah, or Geechee, it's multiculturalism 101. We're all Gullah kinfolk, whether we want to be or not. Tell Bubba, sit his little happy hip down. Well, I tell Big Mom on here.
That's so true, and that's I had not thought about it that way, but so I'm glad you said that, because in these conversations that I have throughout the community, I learn so much more about our community, and it informs me about who I am. And I'm very much aware of, as you said, the multiculturalism, the multiracial. We don't have a certain look or anything. We are. It's a culture. Out of many, one. When you hear about the United States, and our original motto for this nation was "out of many, one." Gullah actually is created out of many, one. So we are multicultural, and that's something to be celebrated.
Yep.
It really is something to be celebrated, and you're correct that there are people outside who recognizing that, even though it is something to be celebrated, we still need to be aware of cultural appropriation. You just can't come up in here and claim it, because there's a lot more nuanced and complicated than you think. And unless you are willing to admit that your ancestors came off at a plantation as an enslaved person, then that's a whole new level. A whole new level. Not even new level, but that's a level you got to understand.
Yeah.
You ain't coming because you owned it. You coming because, as you said, you were kidnapped labor.
That's right.
And that's where the blending happened. So we need to keep that real with folks also. And that's a whole nother conversation, but we're going to have that too. Because y'all are gathering places every Sunday and Wednesday at 4.
And I tell you, and I want them to know they didn't come get us because we didn't know anything. They came and got us because of what we did know. I mean, when we start talking about the intellect and the expertise that we brought here, especially with just rice cultivation alone, made these plantations in South Carolina the richest people. You understand what I'm saying? Great Britain would have let the other 12 original colonies go about their business.
That's right.
But the wealth that was produced in South Carolina because of the expertise of Africans that came from rice producing countries, made them so wealthy, was the wealthiest colony that Great Britain had. So they said, "Oh no, we can't let Carolina go." Just think they could have had New York, they could have had New York country, they could have had Massachusetts country, Georgia country, if it had not been for South Carolina and all of the wealth that South Carolina produced.
Exactly. And I implore people, when you hear someone say, well, they grew the rice, it wasn't about growing the rice. It was about the knowledge of how to control the water and manage the land to grow the rice. That's a difference. Because the picture in your head when you say they grew rice is you out there growing rice. No, we knew how to control the water and manage the land to grow the rice. That's speaking to engineering. That's speaking to builders. They built the trunks to control the rice, the water. So you just can't say they grew the rice. That's why they were brought here. And that's a little bit of a myth that was created. You got to understand the full picture. And they have mental, as you say, the intelligence.
And let's go back to even the whole process of even preparing the land. You had swampland that was considered wasteland. These Africans turned into gold mines. And they had, with handmade tools, and a lot of times with their bare hands, they cleared these swamplands that were filled with alligators, water moccasins, malaria-carrying mosquitoes, yellow fever mosquitoes, and everything else that you could find in a swamp. And they took that property, cleared it off to even start producing rice. So it's just amazing of what we as a people can do with so little, and we produce so much wealth for everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's the message I want Black folks to hear. I want y'all to hear me, and I want you to hear me well. You know, we often, and y'all forgive me with my nose running, but I want you to hear this. Oftentimes I hear folks say, you know, a lot of inequality. We know that. And we know there's not an even playing field. But we didn't have a rice field. We made it a rice field. We made it a gold mine. You understand? We're people of making things happen. Even when they throw the worst of obstacles in our way, we make it happen in spite of. And so I want us to start focusing on our strength. What do we have? God said, ask Moses, what is it that you have in your hand, Moses? Moses made all kinds of excuses when God said, Moses, go tell Pharaoh to let my people go. And he started talking about, I'm a stutterer, I do this, da, 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 da. And God said, no. What is it that you have in your hand, Moses? And this is what I'm saying to Black folk. We may not have the hotels. We may not have the restaurants. We may not have a whole lot of things. They may only be paying us $2 and the other person might be getting $200. But we can determine where we spend that same $2 we get. We don't have to continue to support businesses that do not support our Black communities.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to go there and get our nails done by folks who don't give us the decency of speaking, you know, so that we can understand. But they can tell us, you know, want to take our money. See, if Black women, let me just tell you the power of Black women. If Black women for just 1 month said, I'm not going to get my nails, did it. I'm not going to put no weave in my hair. I'm not, just for 1 month. Can you imagine the amount of money that we have in the Black community? When we keep saying there ain't no money in the Black community. Oh, yes, there is. Oh, yes, there is. Why do you think they target us with the commercials that they produce? Because there's money in the Black community. And we spend it with everybody else except for our own.
That's right.
Why is that?
Because we don't understand our roots.
Yeah. When is the last time you see other folks that don't look like us come to buy a hair product? We the only one use hair grease. But they don't look like they're the only one selling it. They trying to get oil out of their hair. We trying to put oil in our hair. Why is that? Just think about that for a time. If a business is not going to support our causes, then we ain't got to call for no national boycott. Just don't spend your money there.
That's right.
Do your own nails. Do your own hair. We were doing it before. When we couldn't, these hotels, Black folks travel more than anybody else in America per capita. So that means we fill in hotels. So what happened to us when we couldn't go to their hotels? When we had to rely on the green book.
That's
we
right.
need to go back to some of that. They don't respect our dollars, then they can't spend our dollars. That has to be our motto. We ain't mad at anybody. We just respecting us now. We're seeing the value of us now. And that has to be the message we give to our young people so they can stop shooting and killing each other. We have bought in the narrative of the masters that say we ain't worth nothing. We ain't nothing but property. If they make us mad, let's lynch them. If they make us mad, let's whip them. If I need some extra money, let me sell them. That's the narrative we bought into. The devil is a liar.
The devil is a liar. And you know, I do think, Aunt Pearlie Sue, that some of us are starting to realize that. And I just want to give one quick example is with the situation with her name with UNC Chapel Hill not giving tenure to 1619 author. And when they finally decided they were going to give her tenure, she turned them down and said, I am not going to go someplace where I am not celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
And she left. She walked away. And she took millions with her. This is a MacArthur Genius grant money that she had, but because of their foolishness, she left. Good for her. And that's what we need to start doing. If you are not celebrated, do not spend your money there.
And we don't have to cut, we don't have to cuss, we don't have to fuss, we don't have to go burn up stuff, we don't have to go tear up stuff. We just got to be more financially literate with where we spend our dollars.
That's right. That's right.
And we cannot, And if we get $2, we got to learn how to save some. That's what we got to do.
We do. We do. We do. We do. And y'all, just to let y'all know, I came down here. I'm in Beaufort until tomorrow, Monday. I've been down here a couple of days because the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce, we've received a grant. Y'all will hear more about it this week, where we are establishing a Gullah Geechee seafood trail. And it is about investing in our businesses, the micro, the small, the startup businesses, and giving them the education. What Aunt Pearlie Sue just talked about. Investing back investing back into the community and saving. And so, and this ain't about anger or prejudice or hate towards others. This is about respecting
loving us.
who we are and loving us.
Loving us.
And loving us. And it can be done because it's been done before.
Yep.
I'm here in Beaufort, 1861. It's been done before. It's been done in Wilmington, North Carolina. It's been done in Tulsa, and it's been in Georgetown, South Carolina. You follow when our freed, enslaved ancestors came off their plantations. They came off those plantations with skills, and they created businesses and stuff. And I say this so you need to be prepared. There is always backlash. But we are resilient people. We are strong people, and we always push forward. But somehow we've lost our way because we've become disconnected to who we are. And going back to the beginning of the show, when Aunt Pearlie Sue said, "Come on back home," y'all need to come on back home and reconnect. I don't know, Aunt Pearlie Sue, if you know the New York Times op-ed writer Charles Blow. He actually wrote at the beginning of this year an op-ed that said, "Come on back to the South." The Black folks, y'all need to come back to the South. He was thinking in political terms, but also spiritual, ancestral terms.
That's right.
This is where our strength is. And it will make us stronger in other areas, but we need to come back home and reconnect with who we are. We are here. We are here. Ready for you, waiting for you.
That's right.
Share the stories with you, reconnect. And you're right, Aunt Pearlie. So I've had folks from New York call me and say, "My grandfather was Gullah." And honey, you Gullah too?
Yeah. Know your Gullah, know your roots.
Gullah too. Thank you. That's your roots. You just happen to live in New York or Harlem or wherever, but you are back here in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. You are Gullah. You are Gullah.
And let me just say this to them. And just what you say, when you got an oak tree and you take an acorn off of that oak tree, or you cut a branch off of that oak tree, it's still an oak tree. Do you understand me? It's still an oak tree. So it doesn't matter where you went, where your grandmother or great grandmother migrated during the Great Migration. It doesn't matter. You're still Gullah. And if you want to know who you are, you got to know your roots. So come on down here and we'll teach you. We'll share what we know with you, and then you can share what you know with us.
That's
right. Come on home. That's the first thing they said to me when I touched down. I touched down in Sierra Leone. They say, "Aunt Pearlie Sue, we've been waiting on you."
Ooh, Lord.
They're waiting on us. They're waiting on us.
Yeah.
And we got a story to tell. And we got too much work to do to lay down and play dead, or let somebody else kill us, or we kill each other. We got work to do. We got to be about our Father's business. I ain't got time to play with it no more. I love you.
We got lots of work to do, y'all. There's so much opportunity here. It's so exciting. We are in exciting times.
Yeah.
We are in exciting times, but you got to come back home. You got to come sit with Aunt Pearlie Sue, and you got to learn from our elders. And we have a lot to know. And bring your energy, bring your bodies, bring your monies, and others. We'll take your money too. That's all I'm gonna tell you. We'll take your money too.
Yeah. and stop and listen here. Let me say this too, since you talk about money, because I'm just real. I'm that age now. I can be real. I don't have to try to sugarcoat nothing. You know, I get so sick of hearing Black folks, and we have to charge for the Gullah Festival, or we have to charge a little something for the Penn Heritage Day Festival, or Native Islanders Festival, whatever. And they say, well, why we got to pay? You know what? We're the only people that complain about paying to keep our culture alive. All the rest of them, I mean, when you go to the Chinese, whatever, New Year's or Hispanic, Cinco de
Cinco
Mayo,
de
whatever,
Mayo.
they proud. And they put whatever monies they need. But Black folks, we got to stop complaining about trying to take care of our own culture and stop looking for other people to save us when God has already placed it in our hands to save ourselves. And that's all I got to say. I'm done.
Thank you, Aunt Pearlie. So I think that's all we need today. That's a good way to end the show. Y'all know I'm gonna bring her back on because she got some wisdom to share with us. And always, y'all need to support her. I know you said December 3rd is your next speaking engagement, but if we want to bring you in, and y'all, you got to pay her now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. And I really appreciate her coming on.
They
can let her know. Go ahead. But where is your December 3rd engagement?
December the 3rd is going to be right here at USCB in Beaufort, historic Beaufort, at the Center for the Performing Arts. We do our Christmas show that's called Gullah Kinfolk Christmas Wish. What's our wish? Freedom. It's the last Christmas before the Civil War. South Carolina has just succeeded from the Union. Masters in the big house talking about war. Those of us in the quarters talking about freedom coming. And we put all of that history on stage through musical theater. You can always go to our webpage, which is GullahKinfolkTravelingTheater.org. www.GullahKinfolkTravelingTheater.org. And we'll have it up online. In fact, we're going to probably start selling tickets in the next month. So you get your tickets early. And come on down in Beaufort and we can set up everything. We can set up a tour for you. We can set up private catering, dinners for you. We can make it an experience that you can go back and say, I was at home. I felt like at home. And we want you to know this is home for us. Yep. For a lot of them, because more African Americans that ended up in America during that terrible time and I came through the ports of South Carolina.
That's right.
At some point in time, somebody in your lineage came through South Carolina. Hey, cousin, how mama them doing? How mama them do? Tell mama them I say, hey, y'all come on.
Look at, and not only that, the transatlantic slave route.
Right.
They went to the islands, Barbados. That's why Bermuda. Yeah. That's why we related to everybody there. We cousins.
Yes, cousins.
South America. We cousins. And Gullah Geechee, we global. We a global community. So y'all, look, anybody who knows me, I tell you, I am not fluent in Gullah, but when I'm with my family, it tends to drip out.
Amen. Amen.
All right, y'all see that website, www.GullahKinfolkTravelingTheater.org. Y'all check it out, get more information. Y'all I'm gonna enjoy my stuff.
And if anybody's listening from Philadelphia, we're gonna be in Philadelphia next month. At Sullivan Plaza, we're partnering with the Freedom Theater, so we'll be doing a lot of work in Philadelphia in the next year or so. And also we're partnering with the Greek Orthodox Church by way of Father Samuel Davis and even Temple University. So look forward to hearing about Gullah Kinfolk, and we travel. That's why we call the Gullah Kinfolk Traveling Theater. We travel all over. So if you just hit me up, contact us on our Gullah KinfolkTravelingTheater.org. We'll love to bring Gullah to your area.
Very good. Y'all hear that? Check it out. Support. We got to be real here, folks. We are creating something new based on our culture and who we are. And man, it's exciting times. And if y'all want to be a part of it, y'all need to step up because it's about to happen. It's about to go down.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Aunt Pearlie Sue. I so enjoyed you coming on with us today. I'm going to let you go enjoy the rest of your weekend. I smell the food.
Yeah. And I guess folks wonder why folks going in and out because I'm at my house and we eat family dinner at my house on Sunday. So my niece and those came in Friday from New York, and so we're glad to have them over all the way from New York City, Long Island. And my nephew Travis, and little Travis. And
hey Travis, I'm gonna see them in a second, y'all.
Yeah, let me turn around so you can see them.
They getting ready to eat. They getting ready to go down.
My
All
sister
right
Ross, who always like to be the boss. And that's my cousin Larry right there. That thing they can cook right there. I'm telling you. So we
there
gonna
you go.
yeah.
There
So
you
y'all got the chance to see all my, and that's my grandkids going in there. And I've been fussing with them all day. About getting my food ready. But anyway, we getting ready to throw down. Listen here, we're gonna bless this food. We're gonna thank God for it. We're gonna ask that He take all the impurities out and at least half of the calories. So you don't have to feel guilty. How about that?
There you go. There you go, y'all. And yeah, I'm inside the house, y'all. So we about to say to bless the food and keep it going. All right, everybody. Thank you, Aunt Pearlie. So I appreciate it. I'll
Thank
see
you.
you in a few minutes.
All right, darling. Bye bye.
All right. So everybody, yes, wonderful to have Aunt Pearlie Sue on. She's down here in Beaufort. You got the website. Y'all need to support. We are sitting here. We've been meeting with folks in St. Helena Island, Beaufort. I'm ready to go get on some shrimp boats, I think, or at least meet some shrimpers. And I'll be heading back down here. I'm starting the travels of the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce. This is our first remote location, but this is just the beginning. Y'all gonna be seeing a whole lot of folks in the Gullah Geechee community up and down the coast of South Carolina, then North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. So y'all just follow along every Wednesday and Sunday at 4 p.m. a gathering place where we gather together, the change makers in the Gullah community, and we share our knowledge and we educate our folks and educate others who want to know about this community. We love y'all. Check out GullahKinfolkTravelingTheater.org. Y'all support it, invite them to your hometown, and just know y'all got to pay for them to show up because they are the experts amongst many experts, actually. Thanks, y'all, for joining us today on the Gathering Place every Sunday and Wednesday at 4 o'clock. This was good, folks. Thank you, and we will see you next time. And we have a comment up. Hello, Mozilla. Hello, Gullah family. It's good to see everyone, but we are out. Y'all be good. And we will see you Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Good night.